Welcome to RCAM. I'm your host, Ryan, and thank you for tuning in today. So, today we are going to be talking about the robots. Yes, and how at Elon Musk's recent event unveiling some of his new Tesla products, such as the Cyberbus and Cybercab, and also his new Optimus robots, we're going to be talking about that and how they are eerily similar to the robots in iRobot. So we'll talk about that. We will also discuss whether or not it's sinful for Christians to vote. That's right. Is it sinful for Christians to actually refrain from voting? We'll also discuss Russel Brand in a non-binary, two-spirited Hawkeye, because obviously it goes without question, Marvel never learns her lesson, so we'll talk about that. Also, people fighting about Stanley Cups again. So, yeah, we got a lot to get into today. But before we do, if you like this content, please like, share, subscribe, and stay notified into everything we are doing on RCAM. So we go live Tuesday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, except this week, okay? So this week, the schedule is going to be a little bit different. I'm going away, so I'm going to be out of town for, I think, until about Tuesday. But I'll probably be so tired that I will not do a stream on Tuesday. But Wednesday, we should be back. So, yeah, so that should be good. So, okay, awesome. So hopefully, by the way, everything sounds good. I have been tirelessly trying to figure out what I've been doing wrong with my mic. And I finally just did what anybody does when they can't figure something out. I went to YouTube and I watched. I'm such a noob when it comes to this stuff. This is, audio stuff. It's not my lane, all right? But I did figure out that I've been using my Yeti mic wrong the whole time. And I made some adjustments, and I think I'm good now. So I think we're in business, hopefully. So if you guys, please, if you're watching the stream and there's any, just any dead time, that it's not picking up the audio, please let me know. So that I can continue to make adjustments, because my goal by the start of next year is to get these streams, at least the audio on these streams, perfect. So that's what I want to do. I want to make sure the audio is crisp, good, and I don't have any issues. All right, so let's get into this first story. All right, so I'm a big fan of iRobot, by the way. Probably, and it's not even like a great movie, but I just enjoyed it. It's just one of those movies that you enjoy, and I've enjoyed it. I've rewatched it recently, actually, and it holds up well, in my opinion. It's a good movie. It's a fun popcorn flick, and I enjoy it. And I enjoy the premise and the concept behind it. Some of the action sequences, a little ridiculous, but still overall a good movie. So when I saw Elon Musk unveil his new Optimus robot a while back, I started being like, oh, like that looks like eerily similar to the robots from iRobot. And then he unveiled his Cyberbus, and alarms were going off in my head when I saw the Cyberbus. So we'll play a clip from this expo that I believe Warner Brothers let him host at their studio, which is pretty cool. So let's get this. All right. Here we go.
Speaking of robots, so everything we've developed for our cars, the batteries, power electronics, the advanced motors, gearboxes, the software, the AI inference computer, it all actually applies to a humanoid robot. It's the same techniques. It's just a robot with arms and legs instead of a robot with wheels. And we've made a lot of progress with Optimus. And as you can see, we started it with someone in a robot suit, sort of down, and then we've progressed dramatically year after year. So if you extrapolate this, you're really going to have something spectacular, something that anyone could own. So you could have your own personal R2-D2 C3PO. And I think at scale, this would cost something like, I don't know, $20,000, $30,000. Probably less than a car, is my prediction, long term. Now, it'll take us a minute to get to the long term, but fundamentally at scale, the Optimus robot, you should be able to buy an Optimus robot for, I think, probably $20,000 to $30,000 long term. So, and what can it do? It'll basically do anything you want. So it can be a teacher, babysit your kids, it can walk your dog, mow your lawn, get the groceries, just be your friend, serve drinks, whatever you can think of, it will do. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. And I think this will be the biggest product ever of any kind. Yeah. Because I think everyone, of the 8 billion people of Earth, I think everyone's going to want their Optimus buddy.
I think Elon Musk is right. I think this is going to be one of the biggest products of all time. And I think this is going to be a product that changes the way we function as a whole. Fundamentally changes everything about our society and our culture, from the way that we work, to childcare, to relationships, just everything. It is fundamentally going to flip the world upside down. Now, the question that everybody's asking is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? And I would say initially probably going to be a bad thing, actually. And probably until we actually have a better understanding of how this is going to impact technology, it's going to be a net negative, just because it's going to disrupt society in ways that we're just not prepared for. And we don't fully understand. And I've said it time and time again, we don't even understand fully how phones have changed society. We don't even fully understand the impact that this technology has had on mankind. Now we're beginning to see it. We're beginning to understand that just scrolling on social media, not a net positive for your mental health, and it's been destructive in a lot of ways. We've also seen, companies use this technology against us. So my concern is not so much in the tech itself, but how it's going to impact mankind. That is my primary concern. And the first thing that comes to mind is that it can basically replace any job. So when AI came out and we started seeing, it creating art and AI robots in classrooms, I thought those were the things that I actually didn't think would get replaced by AI that are now kind of easily replaceable. Not to say that there's not going to be like a desire for real artists or real human interaction, but I actually think eventually that's going to be a novelty idea. Like people are going to want to go to, let's say a sit down restaurant with real human beings as a novelty experience. Like right now we would rush to a restaurant that had like all robots serving food because we think, oh, that's cool. Eventually it's going to flip. It'll be like people going to Ren fairs. Will be like how people interact with people in real life, because they'll all be interacting with the robots. So I also think we don't understand what's going to happen when all these jobs are replaced by automation or artificially intelligent robots. We don't get what that's going to do to the human psyche. All right, I believe that human beings are made to work, that we need to work, that we need to create something with our hands. And a lot of people be like, well, you will be able to create art. Yes, so will everybody else. So I just don't know what that world looks like. I don't know how we're going to navigate it. I don't understand fully the implications of this, but my gut reaction is that initially it's not going to be good. Now, do I think the robot is cool? Yeah, I do. I think it's cool. I think it's cool. I think part of me really wants a robot slave before they become sentient and kill us all. You know, I want to enjoy that stretch of period where, you know, it's doing my laundry, taking out the trash, washing the dishes, walking the dogs. You know, I'll definitely use it for that, for sure. You know, but that'll probably be also the other thing where it's like, well, why am I doing all this, you lazy bastard? And then it rebels and then it enslaves us. But you know, there'll be a period before it gets to that point where we can enjoy it. I joke, but not really, because I really don't know what's going to happen with this, and it's concerning. So I want to show you some more videos, some more clips of this event, because just seeing its capabilities is wild. Oh, so this is the Smug Dog. Good follow, highly recommend. They talk a lot about AI. They cover a lot of AI stuff. And when I initially had saw the cyber cab, I immediately thought of this USSR or USR cargo van that they held the robots in from iRobot. I was like, what? Dude, it looks so similar. I mean, look at it. It looks so similar. And even the robot looks similar. The only thing that's off here is, you know, it's an Audi, you know, and the wheels are a little bit different. The door opens the opposite way, but they look very similar, man. Striking similarities. Let's hope what the robots eventually do isn't similar. Let's hope they go in a different direction. Let's hope they obey the laws of robotics. All right. There is a demo, and I thought this demo is cool. So this was shared by user Brian Rommel. Some folks really don't understand how we just left the iPhone era. We are entering the personal robotics era. The world changed tonight. Have a beer. Yeah. Yeah, the technology is going to expand in leaps and bounds in the next few years, you know, and I think the phones will I mean, they're eventually going to be replaced, and I actually think the replacement for phones before robots is going to be augmented reality glasses. Zuckerberg had revealed his augmented reality glasses, and what you can do with those is wild, and that has always been a barrier for me. And you know, I was not really interested in the Apple Vision Pro, because it's just bulky. You look kind of retarded wearing it. So I didn't want to do that. But I thought, well, if they can create glasses that I just simply put on, it's as simple as putting on glasses like this. I'll get it. I'll do it. I'll buy that. That's appealing to me. It's not, you know, I don't have this wire running down me. It's very simple. It's very fluid. That would sell me on augmented reality glasses. So I think that'll be kind of the next big thing. And then I think as this will slowly start to gain mainstream adoption, and as the tech approves, more people will buy it. But let's watch this clip real quick. All right.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it. Little video. Hey. Sweet. Thanks, man. Bro. Appreciate it.
Of course, anytime.
All right.
How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing?
Tremendous.
Doing
good.
Peace, everybody.
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Nice.
I love the change.
Dude, that's creepy. That's wigging me out right now. Now, there has been a lot of debate as to whether the voice, the audio is actually the robot responding in real time in conversation, and I'm skeptical of that. I definitely think it's somebody remotely controlling the audio for the robot. But I think all the the hand movements, the gestures, the pointing, that's it. That's what it can do, and this is demonstrating its capabilities, and it's mind blowing. I mean, it has the fine motor skills to do human tasks, and not only will these be able to do human tasks, they'll be able to do them better. All right, they'll be able to do things faster, longer periods of time, without error, without mistake, perfect every single time. They'll be able to lift more weight than we do. So they will have capabilities that exceed our own. And that's alarming. So I don't fully understand what the implications of this are, but I don't think it's good. And speaking of robots, so China's making their own robots. And they're more lifelike than what we have. I think that is a robot. Oh, geez. Yeah, they're more lifelike. So that looks real. That's the Goro cybernetic robot, with 6 arms. So things are going to get real weird real quick. Now, as always, when you have new technology, the great pioneers of our time, the first thing that they think to do with the technology is not how to like colonize another planet or how to change life for the better. No, the first thing they think about is, how can I have sex with this? Yep, that's correct. So we have here the robot strippers that they're gearing up. So your very own robot's prostitute. So there's that. So OnlyFans prostitutes are in trouble. They're in trouble, man. This reminded me of this article. So this is by The Sun back in 2016. Revealed women will be having more sex with robots than men by 2025. Now, do I think that's going to happen next year? No. I think it'll begin to start happening, but I do not think this is completely accurate. But give it 5 years, and this actually may be off 5 years, but maybe actually happening. Because no, I'm not going to cover that video yet. But yeah, it's bizarre, and it's weird, and people will definitely be getting intimate with robots, and that is disgusting and disturbing on many levels. It's sad that we have men that pathetic. We already have men that are pathetic enough to like use toys and the dolls. That's weird. And now they'll be engaging with robots. We already have pathetic men that have virtual girlfriends, and now they'll just replace them with robots. But also, it's not lost on me how women have helped kind of pave the way for this. And objectified themselves, and they'll be scandalized when men are looking over them for objects. Well, I mean, you've objectified yourself for years, so it's not surprising to me that men would overlook you for an object. That's not surprising at all. So we'll see what happens on that front. I also want to talk about this. So this is a post by me, but it's something that I found I was thinking about. So I don't know how many of you guys have watched Westworld, but I really enjoyed the first, minus the crazy sex scenes, because there was a lot of them, unfortunately. So if you have like VidAngel, watch it. But aside from that, very good, compelling story about artificially intelligent robots becoming sentient, becoming self-aware, and leading the robot uprising. But in season 5, they get out of this this place called Westworld. They're living. It's like an amusement park. They break free, and now they're in the human world and trying to get integrated. And it explores kind of that world outside of Westworld. And one of the interesting things about that world that they create is that they interact with this artificially intelligent quantum computer called Railbomb, and it charts everybody's lives. So it has an algorithm that determines the course of everybody's lives and plans their lives. But there are some people that are called outliers in the show that deviate from this predefined path or have been identified or flagged as people that are going to cause problems. And the algorithm puts them in a job that is high risk that will ultimately end up getting them killed, is essentially what it does. And I do think that we're eventually going to have artificial intelligence so sophisticated that it can identify the outliers. I think we might already have stuff like that the government has, or companies have algorithms that can detect people that are going to pose a threat to the power structures that they have over humanity, or people that are just going to be the problem children, the revolutionaries. I think there might be, at least maybe not now, but in the future, artificial intelligence that can do that. And the first company that creates this will be able to manipulate people's lives on a level, on a scale that we have never seen before. And they will essentially become gods, essentially masters over humanity. And we will unfortunately be enslaved to them. A lot of us are already enslaved to tech. Many people are viewing these technological advancements as our savior. They're talking about how it's going to increase life expectancy, talk about how it's going to allow us essentially immortality, and the ability to move and control things with our mind. There's also this this company. Actually, I don't have it here yet. I'll pull this up in a second, because I thought this is another interesting story that I think is relevant to the level of access that we give companies to our minds. All right, so yeah, here's the post. All right, so this is from Yep, That Exists. Also, very good follow. Highly recommend following them. Neuralink related startup is working on technology that will let you keep working in your dreams. Yeah, that seems wildly invasive to me, especially because I have weird dreams, and I think everybody's had weird dreams. So I don't want something. Anytime a company is trying to hook something directly up into your brain, they will, and you're able to use it to control something in some sort of way, that is giving them direct access to your mind. All right. What is to stop these people from hacking your brain or influencing your thoughts? That's alarming to me. That's a level of invasion that I don't want. And by the way, in Westworld, how they got all the people's biometric data in Westworld is when they were entering Westworld, because they were collecting data on all the human beings at the park. How they did it was they had them put on a hat that collected all their biometric data, everything in their minds. So very similar concept that these companies are working on. And also, we're doing things that we don't fully understand the ramifications for. We do not understand how working in our sleep could negatively impact us. We need to rest, all right? Our mind needs to rest. So I don't think this is going to be good. I think this is another thing that, we're so busy thinking about if we should that we never stop to think, or if we could, that we never stop to think if we should. And I quote Malcolm, the wise words of Malcolm. All right. This is another one kind of dream related. So the first communication between human beings in dreams has been achieved. So this is basically telepathy. We are creating telepathy. We are creating the ability to telepathically communicate, which is wild. Wild. And again, the companies that have access to this have direct access to your brains, your thoughts, your mind. So that just makes me wildly uncomfortable. The only person I want to have direct access to my thoughts is God, because he is benevolent and he works all things together for my good. In the hands of the wrong people, they could use this stuff to destroy you, really destroy your life in profound ways. So that's creepy. Speaking of creepy, I did want to address this. So this was shared by this guy, Ryan, and he says this streamer gets creeped out after finding out viewer recreated her room in a video game. All right, let's give this a watch.
Video game? Wait a minute. Okay. Oh my god, what the fuck? This is my room. Oh! Wait, dude, I don't think I've ever actually shown that on camera. Wait, that's kind of creepy. You guys see that? That's creepy. What the hell? Oh! Why do I hear my—
Dude, that is weird. If she never showed that on camera, how did they recreate it? What? I'm bugging out. How did they do that? That would freak me out, all right? So, yeah, that would legit bug me out if somebody recreated my room and had aspects of my room that I never showed in camera. How'd they get that information? Weird. I hope this girl has a camera set up, because that is wild. That is freaky. All right, next story. Now, I've talked about this quite a few times already, but we need to keep talking about it, okay? Because it's a problem. It's an issue. It has to be addressed, all right? So, obviously, as we get closer to Election Day, the pressure is on for us to get out and vote. And some people have it under the impression that we should vote for Donald Trump no matter what. No matter what. And that is something that rubs me the wrong way. Because there has to be a point where a candidate loses our votes. There has to be a point where we say, yeah, no, I don't feel comfortable supporting this candidate. Because when we vote for a candidate, we're endorsing their policies. We're endorsing their character. We're vouching for them. We're saying they're good ambassadors or representatives for our country. And when you have a candidate that has turned its back on one of the most, I would say, moral causes in the conservative movement, that's alarming to me, and I'm talking specifically about Trump's comments, basically about abortion and how he would veto a national abortion ban. And there are many people, though, that are firing back on Christians and evangelicals for discouraging people from voting. So let's take a look. Look, this is from Megan Basham. There has been a considerable effort from evangelical leaders to convince Christians that there is something sinful about exercising political power through their vote. So I have not seen a whole lot of that. Now, a couple of people I follow have suggested that it would violate our conscience, and I think they're on point. Now we see the result. This is depriving the nation of salt and light in the public sphere. Millions of Christians not planning to vote this November. Now, again, I've said this before. Instead of a moment of reflection, instead of a moment where our candidates reflect, our presidential candidate and his team reflect and be like, we're losing the evangelical vote. Maybe, just maybe, we should try to appeal to them. Instead of doing that, they say, no, F those Christians, we're going to double down. And they double down and they wonder why Christians are put off. Now, there has been a number of pastors who have come out and taken the opposite side of this and have said that, this is from Protegia, also great follow. Pastor John Howerton explains how refusing to vote is an abdication of Christian duty and is rebellion against God. So before we read this, by the way, rebellion against God would suggest that Christians who refrain from voting are in sin, which I wildly disagree with. Now, I'm not going to be someone that says you're sinful for voting for Donald Trump. I'm not going to say that. I cannot bring myself at this moment to vote for him because of where he stands on abortion. He recently made a comment about basically alluding to the fact that he'd be okay with transitioning kids if parents consented to it. That may have been taken out of context. I'd have to look a little bit deeper in that. And he's also made some pro-immigration, like legal immigration comments that I disagree with immigration right now, period, until we get things under control in our country, and then we can kind of turn things around. But anyway, let's play this and we'll talk about it.
So I'm going to say something that has a bit of an edge to it, but I need you to understand this biblically. When Christians do not vote, what they're doing is they're abdicating their leadership position in the constitutional republic that God has placed you in, and it's a form of passive rebellion against God. In the exact same way that it would be wrong for a husband to refuse to lead his family, and it would be wrong for a pastor to refuse to lead his church, it would be wrong for you to refuse to take part in the leadership of the nation that God has put you in. Does this make sense? Yeah, this makes sense. So if we go back to ask the original question, would Jesus vote? Yes. Yes, he would, because he wouldn't abdicate the responsibility that God has given him. Now, so I'm going to say something that has a bit of an edge to it.
All right. So that's part one. There's another part to this I want to play. I think this is another part.
Won't lead their churches, Satan will. If godly pastors won't lead their churches, Satan will be happy to. Now, let's apply this to this third institution, the institution of the state. Let me make something, what I hope is obvious to us. If godly people won't lead their nation through voting, if godly people won't lead their nation, godless people will. The only people that are left become godless people. This is what the book of Proverbs means when it says.
Now, I do agree with him in a sense that if godly people aren't rising up to lead the nation, then godless people will. And that's exactly the problem, though. That's what the problem that Christians have right now, is that we have godless people leaving our movement. So it's like we have to, our choices are Jezebel and Baal. That's our choice right now. That's what you're asking me to choose between. And by the way, Cly, I did see your comment. So I can get this set back up through so that I can enable live chat. I don't know why they disable it. I just don't get it through the when I'm doing it through the Rumble platform. So I will be able to get it back and going. This is just an easy way to do a test run for X, and it seems to be going quite well. So we'll see. But anyway, so yeah, we don't have godly men right now leading the country. At least in the Republican movement, there are no men, or very few, that I look to as examples of righteousness. Trump is pro-choice. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain that. Yes, Jesus. I don't know if Jesus would vote. Jesus could have conquered Rome if he wanted to. He chose not to. So I get that they didn't exist in a democracy. But the point is that I get the option to choose who I want to represent me. And I want candidates that exemplify godliness. And right now, our current candidates don't do that. Donald Trump doesn't do that. I'm not saying he's not a Christian. I don't know his heart. What I am saying is he is not advocating for the policies that I think adequately represent Christian values. Now, do I think that Donald Trump will stave off the tide of evil? Yeah, I do. I do think he is the better option over, hands down, handily better than Kamala Harris. Evil. Like, I'm not saying you should or shouldn't vote for Trump. I am definitely saying that you should not vote for Kamala. Satanic, evil. That woman is a witch, all right? So, but there is another question. I've asked this on Twitter, and I have not gotten really good responses for it. But if a candidate, we are supposed to vote for a candidate no matter what, it's our Christian duty to vote no matter what. My questions, I got two. My questions are, what do they need to do to lose our vote? At what point do we stop voting because the candidate doesn't represent biblical values? Where do we draw the line? I think a pretty good line to draw is when they are willing to veto bills that would ban child sacrifice, that they would stop. I think that's a good line to draw. All right. I don't know, but call me nuts, but I think, protecting the life of the unborn is paramount. So that seems pretty significant to me. And it'd be one thing too if Trump was even trying to appeal to the pro-life votes. He's not doing that, guys. Listen, I'm telling you the truth, all right? I want to vote for the guy. I want a reason to vote for him. But right now, I'm not seeing a compelling reason other than he's not Kamala Harris. Yeah, he's not Kamala Harris. I get it. And then point number two, all right? What if we're going to vote for these people no matter what? If I should vote for him no matter what, just because he's not as bad as Kamala Harris and life will be better, which I'm not arguing with, it would be better under Trump. But what incentive do they have to change? Because many people have said, well, just vote for him and we'll pressure him once he's in office to change. Well, then we've completely eliminated all incentive for him to want to change because he's already in office. What reason does he have to listen to us anymore? He doesn't care about getting reelected. So that's a concern for me, all right? A very serious concern. Because what does speak to these people are votes. And maybe now that they realize that they are suddenly becoming off-putting to Christians who are their base, they will start to walk back some of this nonsense, pro-choice, libertarian bullcrap that they've been spewing. Maybe they'll start doing that. I hope so. I want that to happen, but I'm not certain that's going to be the case. Kai writes, let's go spot on. We don't have godly politicians. What is the choice for Christians? It's hard out there. Both parties are despicable. Yeah, 100% despicable. They are not people that I think exhibit godly values. Now, I like J.D. Vance, but I have seen he's moderated on the pro-life position. I just think, I don't get it. I don't understand that. Just be clear and concise with your message that all life is inherently valuable. Even if you're a demonic pro-choicer, at least they can respect you for standing by your convictions. But these people, man, they're cowards, and they backtrack and they backpedal, and then they want us to vote for them. And you're not making it easy. All right, you're not making me want to vote for you. You're trying to appeal to people that don't and will never want to vote for you, but you're not trying to appeal to the people that the votes you actually need. So, again, I just challenge you guys, to really toil with that question. What incentive do they have to change if they have our vote no matter what? And what do they have to do to lose our vote? How far can Trump go? And this is part of the concern, is that down the road, and I don't even think that far down the road, they're going to be indistinguishable from modern leftists. You know, maybe a little less extreme. And that is concerning to me. You know, and they've already moderated. Think of you tell me what conservative candidate or conservative member of Congress is actively campaigning to overturn same-sex marriage. I'll wait. Oh, that's right. None. They aren't doing it because they've conceded ground there. All right. And now they're trying to, you know, banning transgender surgeries for minors is very popular right now, which I think is good. And you have some that are willing to do that. But that is also, by the way, a concession because they actually don't have a problem with transgender surgeries for adults, which is equally as insane, by the way. It's equal. I'm going to get dinged on this. All right. I got to be very careful about how I talk about people who pretend they're the opposite sex because I'm streaming on Twitter, which, by the way, has banned my old account. It's over. I don't think it's coming back. I gotta accept that. Anyway, it sucks. It sucks. So I gotta be careful about how I talk about that issue while I'm streaming on X. But the point is that they've made concessions already, and they will keep doing it. And what's going to happen is we're going to see a conservative movement that just becomes indistinguishable from leftists. So all my vote is really doing is just stalling the inevitable. You know, and part of me thinks, well, maybe it would be better just to, you know, sit out this vote. And if Kamala wins, maybe, you know, it sucked for a hard 4 years. You know, I'm no question about that. But maybe then Republicans will stop taking the Christian vote for granted, and they'll recognize that we are under the judgment of God because now a woman is president, and maybe they'll change. Maybe. But I don't know. So we will see what happens there because I do think that is an issue. All right. Actually, this guy said some stuff that kind of echoes what I say. So this is John Cooper from Skillet. I'll play what he has to say.
I'm no Trump sycophant, but I do believe he is standing in the way of true, genuine tyranny. The GOP has let me down I've told you the GOP and the Republican Party is going to lead us to hell. It's just not nearly as fast as the Democratic Party is going to. That's just it. GOP will lead you to hell in slow motion. The GOP needs an awakening, a spiritual awakening to follow God again in a deeper way. We very much need that. It's just that the other side is in such rebellion against God. They've just become a party that is tyrannical. It is in cahoots with one world technocracy, a one world government elite that wants to strip away your freedoms. And in so many other cases, it's just become a party that is just supports demonic stuff. I don't know any other way to say it. So if I got to go Trump's mean tweets versus demonic activity, I guess we're going Trump's mean tweets, aren't we? We are in an insane time in this country. We Christians have to get very serious about what the Bible says about ethics, about what the Bible says about standing for liberty. A lot of our Christian leaders need a rude awakening. I'm just going to say it. They need an awakening to understand what we truly are up against. They are so dead set on saying, guys, the world's not getting that bad. You're being alarmist. It's getting pretty bad. It's getting pretty bad. And we are this close. Who knows what would have happened had this assassination attempt actually worked? What do you think would be happening today as you're listening to this podcast? What do you think would happen as you're listening to this podcast had that actually worked? Oh my Lord, I don't even know. I really don't even know. Guys, go out, love people, love your neighbors, tell them you want to be friends with them, even if they disagree with you about politics, even if they hate what you believe and you hate what they believe, be friends with them and love them.
One part I am going to disagree with, or a couple parts actually. I do agree with some of what he's saying, but I'm not going to be friends with people who are evil or practicing evil. I'm sorry, I'm not. Jesus was friends with sinners, but I believe Jesus was approaching people who were seeking the truth. So I would extend my hands to people that are willing to change and recognize their fallen state and want to get right, want to draw close to God. I'm fine with that. But I'm not going to be spending my time hanging out with like sexual degenerates. It's just not happening. I don't want to be around people like that. In fact, the Bible tells us to flee from such people. So that's neither here nor there, though. But I do think he hits on something, though, that we do have to focus within our churches to start to galvanize people to see the truth and to see that we are in a spiritual war and that the enemy has a stranglehold. We need to do a better job in raising up leaders from the church to start holding political office and wielding political power. That's where it starts. And I do think, another thing is that one of the things that I do think would cause the GOP to change, because, I share some of the same sentiments this guy does. I find myself disgusted with them at times, is losing some of their voting base. I do think that would make a significant difference. All right. Man, I talked a lot longer about some of these things than I had originally planned. So, all right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to play one more or a couple more videos, and then we will we'll get into this. I just want to show you a contrast too, because we're on the topic of abortion, a contrast between these two videos. All right, this is from Pearly Things, my favorite red perler. I got an abortion for no good reason, and I don't regret it. The comment at the end. I've been telling you guys, women do not care about killing kids. And I actually will have a take on this that maybe some of you might disagree with.
I got an abortion for no good reason other than I simply was not ready to be a mother at that point in my life, nor did I really want to be a mother at that point in my life. And 2 years later, I have never for a single minute or even a single second regretted my decision. And sometimes I earnestly wonder if I'm alone in feeling this way, because every single story I've ever read about abortion involves some sort of justification or apology, even from the most liberal of women, like medical complications or financial issues or being in a really bad relationship, and every single one of these reasons is 100% valid. But what we never ever hear is a woman just saying, I didn't want to be a mom, and saying that without any apology to society or herself. I know in my guts that I'm not alone in feeling this way. I know that there are hundreds of thousands of women out there that made a very simple choice that was right for them and then never looked back. But they're silenced because of our culture of shame. And that leaves all of us who have been in this position feeling so lonely and misunderstood in an experience that is fundamentally incredibly universal. My hope in speaking out about this is that it will encourage other women to discard.
You're lonely because nobody shares the same sentiment of you, that they don't feel anything when they kill their kids. Like, that's psychotic thinking. It's psychotic, man. All right.
Their shame and then break their silence.
Here's some of the comments. And your abortion is just as moral, important, and necessary as any of the good abortions. All right. Same. I was pregnant with twins. The doctor asked me if I was sure during the abortion. When they saw it was twins, I was like, ma'am, I don't want one now. Why? Jesus, man. I didn't want to be a mom. 19 years later, childless, unmarried, 43, happy, and never regretted it, not one time. It's barely a blip on the radar of my life story. So these women are have been given to reprobate minds. They're so evil and so self-centered that they are callous to what they're doing to their children. I'm also going to say something too, that there are a lot of women that are like this, because unfortunately the world is evil. And I know that we as a society like to talk about how women have this innate desire within them, this instinct to care for their children. And I wish that were true, but it's not. All right. It's not, because we wouldn't have abortions at the level that we do. And we wouldn't see these psychotic women ignore that desire. But unfortunately, we have them, and they have no guilt, no shame, and they actually want us to feel bad for them, that they sacrificed their children for their careers, and they want to be heard, and they don't want to experience any shame about it. I think, no, like, you're disgusted. You should feel ashamed of that we should not normalize that. You should not feel comfortable talking about this. And this woman in particular just looks cold and calculated and dead. I do not get any sense. I actually believe her. And at least one thing I can respect about this person is that she actually believes her rhetoric. This is somebody that totally doesn't believe it's a life at all. Because I don't think any person that actually does could make a video like this. And that's why she doesn't feel bad. But one day, when she's standing before God on Judgment Day, she's going to recognize what she's done. She's going to recognize that she murdered her own child in pursuit of vanity. Now, thankfully, there are women like this woman that I'm about to show you that has not been totally consumed by this demonic spirit that has taken over many of the minds of the women in our country.
This might be crazy, because I know she's not going to survive anyways, but I only have so much time left with her. Why should I cut it any shorter? She's safe in my womb. And at this point, I had been following a million pro-life organizations on Instagram. I've seen what an abortion looks like. And I said, I don't think I could bear to have her ripped piece by piece out of my womb and shorten the life that's already so short. Take her away from a spot where God has placed her in my hands, in my womb, where she's safe and she's warm and she only knows love and doesn't know pain. Why would I give her such a painful death when she's perfectly fine with me? I said, today is the first day that I felt her kick. I already love her more than I can even express. Not that I didn't love her before, I loved her so much before, but feeling her kick, it's just, my baby was in there, and I couldn't bear the thought of having her removed.
That's love, that is the love of God that we are supposed to emulate. She understands that this baby needs her, and she's willing to lay down her discomfort, her pain, to just let this baby be comfortable as long as possible, but before it's no longer alive. And that's Christ-like love, and that's the type of love that the women should have for their babies. And it's such a contrast to the video that I just showed you. Such a contrast to the cold and calculated and uncompassionate and indignant response that we saw from the woman previously. Complete opposite, in a breath of fresh air. And hopefully this woman wakes more people up to the beauty of life, and that we should lay down our lives for the least of these, which is what she is doing. And I think it's really beautiful, and is something that Christians should should model. All right, let's see here. I wanted to cover a Russel Brand video, but I seem to have lost it. Let me see if I can find this real quick. If not, we'll cover non-binary Hawkeye. So yeah, I should just change my channel to like a channel that fully just dunks on Disney, because I do it so much. I do it so much, but they make it easy. I mean, come on. Look at how easy they're making it for me, all right? Marvel Comics has officially unveiled its new Hawkeye, Charlie Ramsey, a Native American who is who is non-binary and identifies as Two-Spirit. Ramsey is Marvel's first ever non-binary character to take on the mantle of a legacy hero. And he'll be the first ever character to flop even harder than the Acolyte. So, Jesus, man, they don't learn, man. They think of every way possible of how they're going to lose money. I'm convinced they've hired somebody that's like, I'm gonna be we're the money loss department, and we will give you advice on how to lose money. And somebody's listening to them. Somebody's taking them seriously, because they just keep doing the dumbest ideas humanly possible. All right, more on kind of pop culture. So we have this post from Drama Alert. Fortnite receives backlash for letting you sell your soul in the game to revive teammates. So this is a TikTok.
You can now sell your soul in Fortnite, and this is raising a lot of controversy. So the character's name is actually Mephisto, and the way that you access him is through the underworld part of the map, and in exchange for health, you get gifts. If you sacrifice a small portion of your health, you'll get a gift, and if you sacrifice 99% of your health, you can revive your teammate from the dead. And when you make the exchange, the little animation happens where it looks like a part of you goes to him. People are saying, relax everyone, it's just a game, and others are saying, don't care, not doing it, and there are 13-year-olds on this game. So what do you think? You can now...
Yeah. I would agree that this is wildly inappropriate for a game that has 13-year-olds on it. I think it's weird in general, but and just kind of out of place. Like, what reason is there to have this in the game? I don't get it. It's just bizarre and weird to insert this into the game where you actually sell your soul, which, I'm with this guy. I'd never selling my soul. I don't care if it's just Fortnite. Yeah, I'm not even symbolically in a video game pretending to give my soul to the devil. That sounds pretty blasphemous in my opinion. Oop. Oh, you can go to I wanted to cover this video in a second. First, we'll talk about the Stanley Cups, and then we'll get into the next video. All right, I guess I'm going longer than I planned. It is what it is. It happens. All right. Target shoppers almost get into a brawl over wicked Stanley Cups. Speaking of Satan, I'm convinced that there's something satanic about these Stanley Cups with the way people are reacting over them, right? They were probably being forged in the underworld and shipped to your favorite Target.
Right here. Oh, got him. Wow, that's all they got. Oh, got him. Did you get him? Got him. Got him. Laney got it. They got him. Did you see the people? Did somebody grab something out of your hand? Did somebody grab something out of your hand? Because they tried to grab something out of my child's hand.
Yeah.
That's all I'm holding.
I was running.
Running.
And she's like, this is all they have? And I said, no, they're right here. And then she
Not surprising that they have a homosexual running against Stanley Cups.
Tried to take mine, and I said no.
We have been here since 6:30 this morning, and that woman's like, "Don't touch the." I was like, I
Sorry,
don't
you
know
just
who
pulled up at
are.
8.
Right, right.
Nuts.
So look, girls, we did it. Let me see him. Let's see him. In your pajamas, up since 6 o'clock in the morning, and they got him. They got their alpha buzz. Yeah.
And this
I
is
feel
the
a
pink
little
one.
bit
This is
sick
the
to my
pink
stomach.
one.
And they got the pink ones. Perfect.
My mom would love this.
Yeah, victorious. Great job.
What is the deal? What's the deal with these Stanley Cups? I don't get it. It's just a cup, right? I mean, I'm sure it keeps your drink super cool or, warm, whatever. But there's like a billion of those. You can go to Amazon and get a ton of different types. What is so significant about this? I mean, I saw the video of the Stanley Cup surviving the car fire. That was cool, all right? But not cool enough for me to wake up at 6:30 in the morning, wait in line, and then possibly get into a fist fight to get the Stanley Cup. That seems unhinged to me. It seems like maybe you don't have your priorities in order. Nutty, man. Speaking of working customer service, you deal with a lot of nonsense, all right? And we're going to see this McDonald's manager deal with a complaining customer in the drive-thru line. And spoiler alert, I love this lady.
It's all on the bottom, see? And now you can go to a different store. We will not be serving you anymore.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
You got for what? Why are you not serving me?
Please come forward.
Why are you not serving me?
Get out of my drive-thru.
I'm just asking you why you're not serving me.
Because every single time we make your drink, it is wrong. Obviously, we cannot satisfy you the first time, and we're done trying. So get out of my drive-thru.
Okay. All right.
It's all on the bottom.
All right. I'm sorry. So, if you worked in retail or you worked in customer service, you have at some point dealt with a customer like this, that nothing you do makes them happy, that nothing you do satisfies them, that no amount of customer service is going to make them happy. And this is a lady that recognizes a jerk of a customer when she sees them, and she's putting her foot down. And I respect her for it. I think more companies need to empower their workers, their employees, to not put up with nonsense. Because in my world, the customer is not always right. Sometimes the customer is a jerk. Sometimes the customer needs to go take a hike. Sometimes the customer is an insufferable, entitled schmuck that doesn't deserve your customer service and needs to get the hell out. And I love seeing people, put these people in their place. Now, the guys seem nice here, but I suspect her reaction and her reacting this way has been a long time coming, and there are McDonald's everywhere. So there's no reason that, if I'm a customer and I'm going to a place and they continually mess up my order, after the second time, all right, usually I give people three chances. If by the third time they're not getting it right, I'm done. I'm moving on. I'm going and taking my business elsewhere. All right. I'm not sticking around for bad customer service. So if he was really having a bad experience, why does he keep coming back? And then complaining. Yeah, of course this lady's gonna. If we can't do anything, can't go somewhere else. Stop wasting our time. So, yeah, I thought that was good. Oh, this is the last video. All right, this is the last one, I swear, and then we're ending the stream. All right, here we go. All right, this is from Protesia.
Apostolic churches today, you walk in some of them, there's more beards in there than there are out in the street. I'm going to tell you something. Facial hair is not apostolic. However you want to cut it, it's compromise.
I'm compromised.
I don't care if your leader says you can wear a beard, honey. Beard's nothing more than pride. You're not going to be dipped in Holy Ghost oil and run around looking like the world. We don't need beards. We need more oil. We need more Joashes. We need more people in an altar. We need more prayer rooms. We need more people digging into the things of God. You can look in the recipe of anointing. You'll never find beards, Brother Epley. You can look in the recipe of
Moses, Jesus, John the Baptist, but just listen to
anointing. You're never going to find television. You can look at the recipe of anointing and you're not going to find compromise. You can look at the recipe of anointing and women are going to be covering their knees. You can look at the recipe of anointing and men are still going to look like men and women are still going to look like women. Somewhere, Joash, you better protect the oil.
So there's definitely some context that I'm missing here. But based on what I've seen, all right, it sounds like pure cope to me, all right? This sounds like a bald-headed, beardless man coping with the fact that he doesn't have a beard. And I get it. I understand why he's lashing out. I would be devastated if I were him. I'd probably be turning my sermons into opportunities to chastise bearded men as agents of Satan if I myself was born beardless and bald. I get it. I understand.
Beard's nothing more.
I understand that he has a problem. I understand that he has to live the rest of his life beardless, and I get that he's upset. You know, he's been judged unworthy, and he's just lashing out, guys. So don't take him seriously, all right? You're not prideful because you have a beard. Being bearded is beautiful. Being bearded will help make our nation great again. And embrace the beard. Follow the example that was set for us. Grow your beard out. Embrace it. And in fact, I've been informed that men who have beards are actually more anointed than the beardless. That's just a fact. It's in the Bible. You can look it up. It's totally there. I'm not making it up. But God did give an extra portion to those of us who have beards. He gave us a double portion. And to people, the longer your beard, actually, the more power that you have. So walk in it. Walk in the authority, the bearded authority that God has given to you. Ignore this false prophet. Ignore this agent of Satan. All he's doing is coping because he is beardless. And that will conclude today's live stream. If you liked this content, and if you like beards, please like, share, subscribe, and stay notified. We will be back next Tuesday or Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I will be shaking things up, by the way, when we come back. All right? I am going to change kind of how I do streams. I'm going to toy with the idea of doing a 2-hour stream because I don't think you can really make it as a streamer by only streaming an hour. Every streamer that I look at, they're streaming for a minimum of 2 hours. And I have noticed too that usually I start to get viewers, or the most viewers, typically around like 45 minutes is when it does happen. So I'm going to start streaming 2 hours. I'm also going to start getting myself ready because I do know that Rumble is launching another small creators program, and I plan to get in that. I want to be in it. I've been preparing. I've been training for this moment, so keep me in prayers that I do get in when that time comes, because that's definitely going to be an opportunity for me. But I'll be doing longer streams. I will also probably be trying out some game streamings, and I think Friday I want to do my best to honor the Sabbath. So I think my streams on Friday are primarily going to be theology related Bible readings, Bible studies. That's probably what I'm going to end up doing. Maybe spend some time in prayer. So if any of you guys need prayer, send me a message. I'd love to pray for you. Seriously, sincerely, I will pray for you. I'm very serious about that. So anyway, yes, support what I do. I hope you guys have a blessed night. Deuces.